How you doing?
Good. Another edition.
Yes. Did I saw from your stories that you actually watched the soccer game, the women's soccer gold medal game this morning. What do you think?
Yeah, it was actually a fun experience. We're watching it with the families of some of the
Oh, nice.
Olympians. Brams United, which is Brampton's very successful girls soccer league. They've produced Olympian after Olympian, and they actually had three Olympians in their alumni playing for Team Canada.
Wow.
And it was exciting to to watch these families see their loved one win gold.
Yeah. Crazy game though, right? So
Crazy game, and it's these are role models. This is an historic Canadian moment where these champions, I think, are going to inspire another generation of youth in our community to want to do better, to want to fall in love with the sport of soccer.
awesome. You were lucky that you did that with the family there. That must have been amazing. Let's move to. I apologize. We have to move to COVID questions. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. To move to step three, 80% first vaccinations and 75% fully vaccinated people. Where does Peel stand right now?
Well, I think we're about 81% first, and we're close to 70%. We probably passed 70% as of Wednesday. It was 69, so I imagine we're over 70 now in terms of second doses for those 12 and over.
Okay. Do you think the province is handling the opening correctly with, with these percentages?
They've taken a very cautious approach. I felt that some of the reopenings could have been done earlier, especially with outdoor recreation. But I think they're taking a cautious yet appropriate approach to leaving the stage framework completely.
One of the questions we get asked a lot is when are we going to be a maskless society?
So right now, the city of Brampton is pushing to drop all the outdoor requirements. As you know, the province still has mandatory masking policies for outdoor sports fields, people watching on the sidelines, flag raisings, practically any event, they still require masks. And so we're hoping that they can start the reduction of mask wearing by starting with outdoors. The medical advice is it's not necessary outdoors, that it should be by choice outdoors and mandatory indoors. And so we're pushing on that front. In terms of when we'll have no mask mandate at all, like they do in British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, I don't know. It doesn't appear like the province is close to making that move.
Okay. The back to school plan came through this week. What do you think of it?
So I'm glad. I want to see kids back in school. I want to see kids learning together. I don't think the online learning is as effective, and I think we're in a much better position. In March, when schools were closed, educators weren't vaccinated. The over 12 population that tended to have the transmission we were seeing in the schools, they weren't vaccinated. So we're going to go back to school in September with our educators vaccinated, our high school students vaccinated. So we're going to be in a relatively strong position.
Do you think Peel Public Health will pull the trigger to close schools in the fall if there's an uptick in COVID-19 cases like they did last time around?
Well, I know, speaking to Dr. Lowe on Wednesday, he's optimistic he's not going to have to. He expects vaccines to do what they are supposed to do, and that is to really diminish the capacity of the virus to transmit in our community. So I would say there's a lot of optimism that those closures will not be necessary.
This week you mentioned that there's no COVID patients in the Brampton ICU for the first time since the pandemic started. Great news. Is there still nobody in hospital?
So we have no COVID patients in ICU. ICU are for the most serious cases. There's 3 relatively minor cases still in the hospital, but the fact that there's no one in ICU, which means no severe cases, is a wonderful sign of the progress that we've made.
Awesome. How's the vaccinations going in Brampton, especially mainly 12 to 17-year-olds?
The uptake is really encouraging. They're getting their vaccines. And so we still have a little bit of work to do because they started later. Yeah, no, it's an encouraging environment right now.
Nice. You guys don't have a Dundas Street going through Brampton, but are there any with Dundas Street being renamed, or council voting to rename Dundas Street in Toronto, Mississauga considering it, are there any streets that are up for debate in Brampton?
So Councillor Santos and Councillor Singh actually put forward a motion to look at our streets to make sure that there's no street name in any neighborhood that is objectionable against the inclusive environment that we preach in Brampton. And so they're doing that review now,
Okay.
mindful that there is a sincere effort afoot across Canada to not ignore past mistakes.
That's a question we got right now. What are your thoughts on bike sharing or scooter sharing programs in Brampton? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, love them. More outdoors activities, the better. And so we are looking at those. We passed a motion to bring them into Brampton. And so I think there's going to be a tender issued at some point to work with companies and see their proposals of how they would run those sharing companies in our community.
Nice. Have you ridden one of those electric scooters yet?
I haven't. I know a number of the council members have, but they had a pilot project one weekend at Shinkuzi Park. But I'm looking forward to getting out on it and checking it out.
Awesome. And 8,000 trees are being planted in Brampton. How did this come about?
So Brampton has an ambitious plan to plant 1 million trees by 2050. We are working with all levels of government to acquire the funding and assistance for that tree planting. And this week we got funding from the federal government for 8,000 trees to be planted this year. And so thank you to our federal MPs for that advocacy, Minister Seamus O'Regan for providing the allocation. It all helps, and we're trying to build a green city. And so planting trees, building urban forests are helpful.
And I'm probably going to ask the toughest question of all, Mayor Brown. Are you taking any time off? Well, I'm just asking because you're all over the place.
Yeah, not taking time off right now, but it's so nice in the summer. Why would you want to go anywhere in the summer when it's so beautiful in Canada?
Awesome. All right. Those are all the questions I have. Have a good Friday and a good weekend.
Okay, thank you.
See you later.